Thank you for obliging me. I've been kind of derelict because I do struggle with this. And I appreciate, get off me, touching me. Sorry. I like being in my bed. It's my boyfriend. Most of the time, it's my main squeeze. And I'm not going to go doing no extra shit and dances. Listen, I'm not knocking people. I'm not knocking nobody hustle. But at my big ass age, I'm going to live right here. Or sit right here and talk to you. That's what I got for you. That is what I got for you. Anyway, I sometimes struggle with doing this. Not because I don't feel like I'm able, not because I got stage fright or anything like that. I struggle with this for a multitude of reasons. And I appreciate anybody who will sit and listen to me. Because I think the struggle is noticed. And it's because there's some aspect of this that I perceive to be yucky. Being perceived sometimes feels yucky. And also, I'm just now embracing the idea and concept that it's okay for somebody to think I'm pretty, but also listen to my intellect at the same time. It's taken me this long to embrace that. Because let me tell you something. If I was trying to teach somebody something, or I'm in an intellectual capacity, I got story time after this. Telling my own self be funny to me now. Try to make a pass at me. Try to make a comment on my looks. Do anything overt to me when I'm in the intellectual way. See, won't I get real aggressive with you immediately? Now, don't judge me. This is the judge-free zone. Okay? This is so me. I am a different human being now in the sense of, yes, I'm still her. Don't get it twisted. I am her. What I'm going to tell you, I am her. But I also have more love within and without. So I don't have to be her all the time. Only for real threats. Understand? Understand. So I was in my master's program. And I had this friend. We eventually became such good friends. He eventually was my flower girl in my wedding. He was a grown-ass man. But yes, it was like one of the first people to do that. What a lot of people don't know is that my daughter was struggling because she had delayed speech and hearing because she couldn't hear for the first 30 years of her life. Not really. Until we had surgical intervention. And so sometimes she still struggled with math and struggled with language. And so by the time she got to the point where for some reason human beings decided to throw numbers and letters together so they can understand algebra, she was real struggling. Like to the point of crying, struggling. And I knew she wasn't going to just listen to anybody or have any. She was shy too and not very trustworthy of outsiders. But if mom said, this is my friend, she would let him tutor her, right? So I knew this dude in my master's program that was, I considered him to be a genius. I could tell within minutes of meeting this person, all right, I'm looking at my intellectual equal as it pertains to such things, right? Right. I didn't have the time nor the level of patience that she required for that. So I'm like, okay, I forget what he needed from me. He needed something from me, so I was like, okay, eventually we could do a trade, or maybe you take that deal or not. But right now, my daughter really needs a tutor. And this mofo hit me with oh, she's a tutor? What you gonna do for me? But he had that look, what you gonna do for me? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said something really gross. I can't remember the exact words, so I won't quote it here. But essentially, it was like he was literally asking me to go ahead and fellatio him or something like that. It was real bad. He thought it was funny. Or he was like, it's either funny or I'm serious. Depends on how you feel about it, kind of thing. I didn't know him that well at that point, and it was egregious. It's one of those things that nowadays you get kicked out of school for. And nobody knew this happened, and I had a choice to make in that moment. As a woman of color in an institution that was predominantly white, and a private school that's small, I can make a mistake about this. I can go along and get along. I did a lot of moments of going along and get along at that particular school. University of Holy Cross, if anybody was wondering. So by the time I graduated, the crash out was fucking real. So, at a certain point, Nobody was looking. We were in the hallway together. And I'm like, I know he ain't gonna play with me. I know I ain't gonna be able to do nothing about this. He's a white male. I'm not gonna be able to do nothing about this. I'm not gonna get anything done. I've lived enough life to know. But I must put the fear of God into him. So I told him, if you ever talk to me like that ever again, I'm gonna cut your cheek open and shit in your mouth. He ain't never made another pass. Like I said, I'm still her. I just have more love around me. You feel me? Feel me? And I went ahead and figured out my daughter's situation. But when I tell you that shit pissed me off, like later on in life, I was dating a guy. It was a terrible idea. By the way, it was a terrible idea. I was dating a guy, and it's like he hit on me again. But it was later on. We were good friends after that. He hit on me years later, and then 2 weeks later, me and the guy I was dating, again, terrible idea. The guy was married. I don't recommend that, ladies. It's a terrible idea for several reasons. Anyway, so he hit on me 2 weeks prior to us breaking up, and then that was the guy that was giving all the advisement after the breakup. I'm just like, you don't see a conflict of interest here, you asshole. And it brought me right back to that moment when he made a pass at me when I asked him. I was begging for help from my daughter with tutoring, and he's like, basically stuck my and like, after the fact, when I tell you I crashed out on that dude so bad, I was like, I know too much about you that I've been knowing about you that I could have snatched your whole soul with. Well, I'm laughing about it now because at the time I was in severe pain, and I feel like I've healed. Just the fact that I can laugh at it now. I don't hate that person. It's just life was it's one of those moments where life was really fucking ridiculous in moments. Some of it I caused myself, but some of it was just happenstance. But this here is not that I'm shy. Is that it's sometimes challenging and difficult for me to even be perceived. Embracing my femininity, my sexuality, and all those things is very challenging. Because I'll be the first one, especially when I first open my page, to tell somebody, don't come up in my DMs with no pictures. I will burn you where you sit. Got some people alive right now that can attest to this. But I'm finally embracing all of who I am. And I'm okay with me. So this is getting easier. I think that was a long way to say thank you for everybody behind the scenes and on here that has ever supported me. I'm gonna keep trying, but that's the reason why sometimes I just kind of sit back in the cut and write, because being perceived is still challenging. Thank you for your patience. You're loved.